This YouTube group just lost around 100,000 subscribers because of this awful business move. Essentially, the group called Watcher decided it would be a great idea to move all of their content behind a paywall on their own streaming platform. They announced this in their recent video titled Goodbye YouTube. They essentially start by giving us some sort of wholesome upbringing stories of the creators. They're talking about humble beginnings and try and play on people's heartstrings, but just before that, a tiny little snippet that hasn't aged particularly well.
As sad as it is to say goodbye to YouTube, it's the right thing to do.
Well, I'm not sure about that. And the comments think the same. It's like supporting a guy through med school, and then, when he's finally a doctor, he dumps you for a trophy wife. It's literally like Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street. He's left his childhood sweetheart for Margot Robbie. Could you imagine supporting a creator for so long, literally witnessing them grow, being very instrumental in that growth period, and then they come out with a video saying, you're not going to be able to watch us anymore unless you pay us. $60 a year or $6 a month. Very fair, isn't it? And you may be thinking, that is really bad. Why would a creator do that? They get lots of money from advertiser revenue. You know, this channel gets millions of views. They have a merch range where they sell this hoodie for £66, some t-shirts with question marks on them for £33. But not only that, they also have a Patreon. Yes, another paid subscription. This time ranging between $5 a month and $100 a month. For $100 you get a membership card? How cool's that? Definitely worth $100.
If this is my last time on YouTube, then baby, what a life I've lived here on this platform.
I grew up on YouTube. All of my heroes were on YouTube. I learned how to be a human on YouTube. Taking a step away from it, it's just tough because I've always really loved and cared about the YouTube community.
So maybe don't then? This is your decision. No one's forcing you to do this. It's not like you're doing it for like the good of other people or something tragic's happened so you can't carry on. The sad piano music playing in the background isn't going to distract people from the fact that you are choosing to leave YouTube to go and start your own streaming platform which people have to pay to use. It's just so bizarre that they're painting some sort of picture like, poor us, we're so sad to be asking you for your money. As if you haven't literally given us a platform to be extremely wealthy individuals. Pathetic. This is a perfect example of influencers being clearly out of touch with the real world. They think their money-making tactic is beneficial to viewers. The very people who have put them in a position where they can be making copious amounts of money to this day.
Myself, Shane, Steven, we all came from BuzzFeed. It was kind of like the formative years of our creative process.
Interesting that they decided to touch upon BuzzFeed here, because according to this Reddit thread, Shane and Ryan left because of bad working conditions. They allegedly treated their staff extremely poorly. Now imagine you're one of these 12 people in the description of this video ready to have your name dragged through the mud because of your greedy bosses. Not only that though, because if these people are long-term employees, not just interns or freelancers, what happens if this flops? Well, obviously it has flopped if you've seen any of the reaction to it. But at the time of recording, they haven't posted any videos in relation to this drama, and I haven't watched their response video yet, but at the moment they've lost around 100,000 subscribers. So if they do backtrack because of the backlash and then come back to YouTube, well, how are the videos going to perform when they've just lost a massive amount of their regular audience? They may now genuinely be unable to pay these people's wages. So these people could end up getting laid off or sacked in a cost of living crisis, all because of a poor decision made by the people in charge. Moving away from a platform where literally all of your audience is when you have staff to pay, well, it doesn't look very good, does it? Especially because you allegedly quit BuzzFeed because of how they treated staff. Here you are, playing around with people's careers all in order to earn more money.
I'm so proud of what we've built here at Watcher. My proudest moments have been being able to hire incredible people. So growing our staff from 3 to 6 to 10 to 20 to 25.
I hate to break it to you 25 people, but seek new employment. It's time to make sure your LinkedIn is up to date, get the new resume exported, because this was never going to end well. And it's so sad to see in this day and age when paying just to be alive is at such an astronomical high. Here you have your employees playing roulette with your careers. Honestly, how did this three not see how bad of a decision this would be? Are their heads that far in the clouds? I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as this became a rumor in the office, people were already looking for their next job. And it once again just highlights how self-centered influencers are.
I'm proud of the fans and the community that we've fostered.
Maybe that's the best part. The tangible effect of it is like you're out in public and people are like, hey, wow, you know, we watched a lot of your content during a tough time and it really helped us.
But now, Go fuck yourself. Yes, times are tough for all of us right now, and if you want something to take your mind off it, give me all your money. We don't care that we used to help you out through tough times, we just want more profit. Look at our sets, look at our production. All very expensive, but it's not enough. We're even gonna give you 30% off. Look how generous we are, we're so kind. Lol, only joking, we just want to make you feel like you're getting a deal and that so you do it quickly before it expires. It's actually really upsetting to see. These guys were once loved by many. Now it genuinely looks like they've done a big FU to all of their viewers. But the fact that they're even acknowledging the viewers by calling them fans, YouTubers calling their viewers fans will never fail to make me violently ill. I will always address my viewers as viewers, because as soon as you say the word fans, it just makes you look so big-headed. It just makes you look like you actually think you're mega famous, when in reality, you walk around in a cowboy hat and this questionable posture.
I'm very happy with the progress that we've made over here at Watcher over these past 4.5 years. But it feels like we are just at the point where we've hit a bit of a ceiling in terms of what YouTube is able to offer.
You've reached a ceiling for what YouTube has to offer. You make videos with your friends. You literally just mess around in front of a camera and make more than the average person. And without this YouTube platform that you've been posting on, you would have nothing. I just hate seeing it when YouTubers literally made their career through YouTube. They just all of a sudden think they're above it. It just makes them look so ungrateful for what they have. It's been a successful media viewing platform for so many years now. Just because you made a load of money and your videos are getting over 1 million views, it doesn't make you above the very platform that pays you and allows you to do this. It just really annoys me because there's so many creators who make genuinely good content who probably deserve a platform like this. Some people will make genuine good content and never get this sort of exposure. But then you get these entitled beings thinking they're owed loads of money because they do shows and shit.
More than 50% of our business is run by advertising. We are relying on ads to make money, to pay the bills, to run this office, to make beautiful content for all of you guys out there. Unfortunately, over time, the deals that we were getting in 2019, 2020 are looking a lot different than they are today. We're making something for two audiences. We're making it for the fans, all of you out there, and we're also making it to please the advertisers.
They effectively just said, we want to earn more money and advertisers don't want to pay it. So to fund our greed, let's just make our own YouTube. But it's everyone else's fault. We're so hard done by. Like, I get everyone has to make money, right? You have staff and there are 3 of you co-starring, but you get lots of views. Your merch is not cheap either. You do shows which you get paid for. You get lots of money from your ad revenue. And I'm sure you probably get brand deals. And they also have a Patreon. Why can't you just realize what you have? It's almost as if this whole thing is absolute bollocks and you just want more money. You literally have a huge audience, which means you can continue to post and continue to grow. You have the foundations to just keep doing what you're doing and have a very comfortable life. You can just give people what they want to see and you make lots of money. So this business move just makes you look very greedy. It makes you look like you're giving a middle finger to all of your audience who are on minimum wage. Well, on any wage, because $6 to $7 a month is a meal. It's similar to the price of Netflix. The only way that money would be worth it right now is if it made us a fly in the wall in their offices when they were reading this feedback. Because you can imagine the meltdown after this video. And if you really can't afford to be making videos like this, like you say, scale back on the quality, scale back on the budget. I refuse to believe Ryan Plays Minecraft for the first time is really breaking the bank to produce. The game's like $30, and I'm sure that goes down as a business expense in your books. Honestly, they may as well rebrand to Watched now.
It costs a certain amount to make content in the way that we do it. We try to put things on the screen that we feel adheres to a certain level of quality that you would find on, say, a Netflix or something like that. But in doing so, it does cost a certain amount. Like, for example, a Ghost Files episode. First, we have to travel to the location itself. We have to pay the location fee. We have to pay freelance staff that comes to help us shoot that when we're shooting in the studio. We have to pay for the studio.
Okay, you probably get it. They spend a lot of money. They fail to mention here that they also make a lot of money from these videos. That's the narrative they're trying to create. They spend lots and lots of money. And it's all for you. It's not for profit, it's all for you. As you just saw, they go into great detail about the costs going out, but they fail to bring the same attention to detail as the money coming in. They fail to talk about the fruits of their labor, which is an interesting stance, because all of this kind of just makes you look like you're trying to sell a new service where you're going to make loads of money. Funny that, an influencer wants loads of money. But either I have the brain of a sieve, or they haven't actually mentioned what they're doing in this video yet. At my most recent pause, we are effectively 7 minutes into the video, and they haven't actually mentioned what the thing they're making is. So far, they've spent 7 minutes telling people what they do for them, trying to make you feel sorry for them, and how much money they supposedly lose. Doesn't sit right.
Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show. And, you know, over time, you start to realize like, hey, maybe television shows aren't meant for YouTube. Perhaps we should find a different place that's better suited to the content that we're making and can support the dollar amounts that we're putting into each of these episodes so that we're not constantly running around trying to find sources of revenue to support the model.
There we go, a little teaser into their scheme. It's just crazy to me how they think the way they're going to make more revenue is to leave their main moneymaker. They think leaving a long-standing successful platform which has made many people careers and many people very wealthy, they think leaving that behind is going to be the best business idea. Honestly, maybe add business strategists into this big old team that you've assembled, because you boys are making no sense right now. In 7 minutes and 19 seconds, you've managed to piss off every supporter you've ever had and paint yourself in an awful light.
We start first by looking at what we want to say and think about and talk about, and that's always informed our content, which is why I think our content doesn't necessarily always like trend. We've trended quite a few times, okay?
Okay, I've got two things to talk about here. So obviously I'm a small channel, this isn't my full-time job. Outside of YouTube, I am a videographer. I edit for YouTubers and I'm a videographer. The set they have here is overkill. To have a bloke shove his hand up a puppy's arse and dance around for a bit, it doesn't need one of these external monitors. All you need is a camera and a tripod, and a man to shove his fist up a puppy's arse. That total cost with some sort of audio and lighting technology, you would earn back in one video. That's an estimate, but once you've bought it, you don't need to buy it again. And as a production company or some sort of social media business, that's a business expense. I'm not going to go into detail about what companies do with that, but then you proceed to mention that your videos trend. Furthermore, proving my point that your videos do well, they get views, which means you're well paid. Enough to buy a camera and a puppet to fist.
For anybody who's watched or supported us to this point, truly, thank you. The goal was always to make television caliber quality content. And not just for YouTube, but for you guys. I guess we just hope you guys follow us this one last time.
Well, that went well. Instead, you pissed off everyone. You can take the people out of BuzzFeed, but you can't take the BuzzFeed out the people. Shane from this group literally used to be the type of guy to say, eat the rich. He literally said the words, hey, steal from the rich, do it. So is this an act of cannibalism, guys? The Shane in this picture would have probably encouraged piracy at this stage.
Watcher is an ad-free, independent streaming service dedicated to providing you guys the television caliber content that you know and love. But you're probably wondering, how is it going to be different than the YouTube experience?
The new streamer, I think, is a place that reflects what our content is. High quality series in season form, beautifully organized, ad-free. It's what we were destined to be.
Yep, destined to sell out. In the wise words of Grian Chatton from Fontaine's DC, a sellout is somebody who becomes a hypocrite, in the face of money, an idiot. And right now, that couldn't be any more accurate. Trying to convince people that this is a great move for the viewers, doing this for them. It's ad-free, guys. Don't worry about the money you literally have to spend. I'd rather watch ads than pay to watch something. And if ads annoyed me that much, I'd get YouTube Premium. Then watch every video on this platform ad-free, not just yours. But the frame that's on my other monitor right now whilst I'm talking about this, Ryan and Shane eat too much chicken in Portland. Is that the TV content you strive to produce? Two grown adults having a meal. Like, I know my videos are me sat in a chair chatting shit, but I'm okay with that. My viewers are okay with that. I'm not claiming to be some big shot who's spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on his videos. It's just embarrassing that you talk such a big game, but you're making videos about eating chicken and then make people pay to watch them. It's ironic that you're charging people the price of a meal to watch you eat a meal, and now they can't afford that meal.
There are a lot of shows that maybe didn't do phenomenally on YouTube.
Yeah.
That would be performing perfectly fine on a streamer.
What a weird, wonderful idea.
What a weird, wonderful idea that would be.
Emphasis on the word weird, because a platform that practically has unlimited reach is really the worst option here, isn't it? Maybe it just wasn't a good show. Not every idea everyone has is a good idea. Like, I do it myself sometimes. There's videos on my channel that have no way near as many views as others because I thought it was a good idea, maybe it just wasn't. Or maybe people execute things wrong. That doesn't mean you have to now make it behind a paywall. Ad-free paywall though, guys. Don't forget it's ad-free. At least you don't see adverts. So far, that is literally the only pro they've raised here. This whole video is one massive CTA just to drive sales for their new streaming platform. And so far, all they've said is the viewer gets ad-free viewing. And if you're paying for that sort of thing, you just get YouTube Premium anyway. We're 11 minutes into the 14-minute duration of this video, and it's not looking good for the Watcher crew, is it?
When it comes down to it, end of the day, why not? That should be our slogan.
Why not?
Ironic that a blue fluffy puppet has been more open and more straight to the point than these clowns. They saw dollar signs and thought, why not? But I think most people see this mindset stop with Patreon. Like, I know a lot of YouTubers do it. They have their Patreon where they offer exclusives, things that won't be on YouTube. However, I don't think anyone saw them making their whole channel exclusive. That is maybe one of the more unpredictable things they'll ever do, but it doesn't stop there.
You'll still occasionally see us on YouTube. We're gonna post trailers for our shows there. We're gonna have the season premieres of all of our series on there. But if you wanna watch the full seasons of all of our content, the streamer will be the exclusive home for all of that starting May 31st.
So guys, we're still going to pop up and show the shit munchers what they could have had. We're going to show all the broke boys just what they're missing out on. I genuinely wonder at this point, was a bad outcome discussed in this group? But the guy on the end, Shane, he doesn't really look entirely on board with all of this. This is the same guy who used to be very much eat the rich. And at this point, he's sat next to his co-workers discussing using YouTube as a way to premiere their new shows. And I'll be honest, he looks like he starts to switch off. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but he doesn't look entirely happy with this stance. I wonder if we'll ever see him mention it.
Steven, talk about money.
I retract what I just said.
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it. But
Right, they literally have no clue. Literally no clue whatsoever. These people do not know their audience. People are literally struggling to pay bills, struggling to pay rent, struggling to put food on the table. People that watch you might be in school and have to pay for school fees. Yeah, but just whack another $6 a month in there. So if they do want an escape from reality after a hard day's work, if they do want to escape the ever-present fear of running out of money, they need to be even more fearful. Because for me, YouTube is a place where I can sit down and unwind. I can watch people just being themselves, having fun, and providing entertainment in the process. So I guess that is kind of an escape from reality. But then you get people like this who want to take that affinity and run away with it and make as much money as possible. Because they know some people will pay it. Probably no way near as many as they would have hoped. Not enough money to make it worthwhile to quite literally bite the hand that feeds you. And I'm sure now they would probably be on YouTube's blacklist. If I was high up the ranks at YouTube and they'd got some sort of like auto claim on their video, I wouldn't give them the same assistance I'd give other people when it comes to disputing things. Maybe I'm just petty, but you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks like that.
And as a thank you to our first members, those that sign up before May 31st will have the opportunity to vote to bring back your favorite show. And not only that, but we're giving members who sign up before May 31st a whole 30% off their annual subscription.
30% off annual subscription. Not the monthly one. If you don't know why people do this, it's to provide an instant income boost. They will balance the books short term before they really start to push the monthly fees, which will, in the long run, make them more money. Most new streaming services do this. They make you think you're getting a good deal, but in reality, they give you a short amount of time to get this amazing deal in order to make you panic purchase. When in reality, it's just to cover the initial cost of starting up the streaming service. It's just making sure that green line appears as soon as possible.
But at the same time, this is our final goodbye to YouTube.
That's not entirely true though, is it? Because they've just uploaded an update video where it looks like they've been robbed of all of their equipment and they're being held at gunpoint.
Hey everyone, last Friday we announced that we're leaving YouTube and launching our new streaming platform.
we messed up. A lot of you spoke out with extremely valid comments and concerns, and we want to take the time now to address those.
We've been reading the things you've been saying, and we're sorry for the way we handled this, as well as the way we communicated it. We understand where you're coming from, and we're making immediate changes.
Well, if those changes aren't apologizing and then agreeing with people that it's a stupid idea and that people watching your videos and people subscribing to your Patreon is already enough, if it isn't that, if I was you, I'd just turn the camera off. People don't want a new business model. They just want to watch the people they actually like to watch. If you can't see this, then you really are lost.
First, we want to affirm that you are the reason why we've been able to do anything at this company. You helped us every step of the way when we left BuzzFeed to start Watcher at the top of the pandemic in 2020.
You've supported us in so many ways by watching our content, attending our live shows, buying our merch, becoming members of our Patreon, and giving words of encouragement over the years. And we are incredibly grateful for your support.
Yeah, they're panicking now, aren't they? The numbers dropping really gave them an exploding in pants moment. And not in an excited way, because all of a sudden they've just realised how much the support actually does mean. Not to them like mentally, not to them emotionally, to them financially. It's crazy that, isn't it? You make rich people think they're going to go broke, and the attitude quickly shifts. They grab the phone camera, they don't turn the lights on. That's intentional, by the way. Because let's be honest, they're going to have lights in their studio. And all of a sudden they're not hiding the microphones anymore. It's just so cringe. They've literally made a video to be like, hey guys, look, we're humble, I promise. We're not really like big-headed and really like money obsessed. Hello, fellow poor people.
We're sorry for how we originally delivered our goodbye message to YouTube. It was insensitive. We didn't properly express how much we appreciate all of you. And we did a really bad job of explaining the reasoning behind this transition.
We also want to deeply apologize for our ignorance around the impact of the cost. We regret stating and implying that it's a price that anybody can afford.
It was never implied, mate. You said it yourself.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it.
Don't try and sugarcoat it. You said yourself anyone could afford it. Just admit you're out of touch. Just admit you messed up. Say you're scrapping the business move and then give back. If you made a genuine attempt to acknowledge the feedback, well, I'm sure some people would probably forgive you. Not everyone, because although this has definitely showed your true colors, people might probably forgive them because they didn't really do anything like massively hateful. But honestly, if I was a fan of them, this would have killed the connection for me. They've clearly forgotten or they don't care how much you do for them. They've clearly become over obsessed with production value, and it is admirable to see how much someone values the production of something, but YouTube with no community is nothing. For me, the day that somebody takes the human element out of their content is when the channel dies, in my opinion. Everyone forgets about the you in YouTube these days, and it just makes everything seem so overdone. But to say that you can't keep making videos on YouTube because the quality of production isn't sustainable, and then you proceed to hire more hosts, well, it's just making a rod for your own back, isn't it? But to then also shit on your audience, well, it just makes that rod girthier.
And hope you know that we are taking this as a serious learning experience. With that in mind, we're making some changes to ensure that there's a way for our community to continue watching our content for free.
If you want to watch our shows early and ad-free, you can catch them on the Watcher platform a month earlier. After that, you'll be able to watch our shows on YouTube for free.
Okay, so you're still going through with this. You haven't seen the backlash and thought, you know what, lads, maybe let's just scrap this. It clearly hasn't gone down well. Let's sack it off and build back our relationship with our audience. Instead, you just rework the business model. So anyone with half a brain cell can see you're just trying to protect your investment. You obviously put a lot of money into the streaming platform and you just don't want to lose it. So instead of pulling the plug, you're going to offer a different incentive. I don't get how you could have sat there and read through all of these comments and you think this is the right response. You're all there in a room stinking of sweat, frantically pacing around, trying to think of a way to not piss off your audience further. You want to try and build back the relationship, or just think of some damage limitation. Then this is what you come up with. Instead of just realizing it's an awful idea, you just want to protect the bank balance. I'm sure a lot of people probably would have respected it if you would have just stopped the streaming service, because it would show that you're not only associating your viewers with money. We're going to carry on with our 25-person team, which I'm not mocking, by the way, because in a time where cost of living is so high, giving people job opportunities, giving people income, I think it's admirable. But at the end of the day, you don't need a team that big. You don't need such high budgets for your video. You don't need an office in Los Angeles. They're so far detached from what a YouTube channel should be and the core principles, and they've ruined it for themselves. But after all of this, it seems like they want to carry on with the thing that's potentially ruined their careers.
As for the question of why we decided to launch our own platform, when we started Watcher in 2020, we wanted to create shows that we were proud of, that we had ownership over, and that would provide you the caliber of content that we felt you deserved. However, we were finding it harder and harder to stay relevant to advertisers and the constantly changing YouTube landscape.
Am I missing something here? These guys seem to keep bringing up the fact that they're not appealing to advertisers. What are they doing that's deemed so unsuitable for advertisers? They literally make polished and high production videos. Surely all of this ticks so many boxes for advertisers. Before this series of unfortunate events for them, you wouldn't have looked at their channel and thought, these boys are problematic. No, they keep just banging on about this as if it makes any sense. I refuse to believe these people aren't extremely wealthy. Like, I guarantee one of them probably drives a Tesla and one of them's probably got loads of money in crypto. And in Moist Critical's video, he went into a lot of depth about how much these people probably make from ads. And yeah, they're just greedy.
We hope you'll be patient with us through these mistakes, and we remain incredibly sorry that they were made in the first place.
Yeah guys, it was just one big oopsie moment. We literally told you you could never watch us again unless you paid directly into our bank accounts. They effectively said, no one cares about the viewers, frick them. They don't support us enough, so let's take Watcher off their screens. And this is going to go down so well and no one's going to be annoyed. The fact that you're calling it a mistake though, just a tiny little error. You've basically just told your whole audience to piss off unless they pay you. I don't think you realise how bad this is.
We look forward to continuing to make shows and introducing all the incredible things that we've got planned for the platform alongside YouTube. And in the meantime, we are forever grateful to all of the people who make up our community, and we hope that you consider joining us in this next chapter of our journey. whether that's on YouTube or on the platform.
Oh my god, they've ended the video with CTA. They've included a call to action in a video responding to how bad the initial idea was. They've addressed their treatment of the viewers and just gone, yeah, it probably wasn't a very good idea, was it? Should we sort of adjust it a little bit? Because we can't just cancel it because that's going to lose us loads of money. I don't think anyone's going to be particularly sympathetic towards your bank balances because you're quite literally demanding a monthly or annual fee from people who have most likely taken you from an average wage to probably one of the highest tax brackets in your nation. And for that, I genuinely don't see how anyone could ever watch these people ever again. The guy is literally smiling whilst asking you to join their platform. Maybe, lads, if you offer different content, like maybe you could do unboxings, live streams, or behind the scenes from your shoots. Give people an option to watch additional content that isn't on your YouTube, instead of just packing your bags and leaving. A big middle finger up to the very people who gave you a platform to be able to afford to be sitting in the room you're sitting in now. Although it kind of does look like you're being held at gunpoint. But anyway, my verdict to watcher, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, get yourself some financial advisors because you're clearly not getting maximum value for what you're spending. You don't need to make the videos as high quality as you think you do, and get yourself some business strategists very quickly. You clearly don't understand how your audience and people in general work. If you're lucky enough to still have an audience after this, just give them what they want. Give them engaging content that involves yourselves. It doesn't have to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just give them what they want to see because you could have just ruined your careers. But anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please do feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It is completely free, unlike Watcher, and it helps me out massively, you know, small channel. Yeah, cheers. Bye.